working as a manager at Celtic Park. When we met you, we picked you out, you shook us up and turned us around. You've turned us into something new. Ange Postecoglou, you know that we believe it when you say you're gonna change it. Ange Postecoglou, we're the mighty Tottenham and nobody's gonna stop them. Oh, we look so fine in blue and lily white. And then he said to me, I'm from a land down under. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou, oh, oh.
Love it, love it, love it. Welcome back to another one of these weekly live shows every Monday, 8 p.m. Today, I'm joined by 4 fabulous guests, 2 of them with me now. Firstly, Davina, first time on the show. How you doing?
I'm all good. Thank you for having me on. I've been looking forward to it. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. It's great to have you on. Obviously, people we don't know, we wanted to have Davina on for a long, long time. So it's great to finally have her on, regular on the show. Travis, Happy New Year to you as well. How you doing?
Good evening, Harry. How you doing? Nice to meet Davina. Nice to have some new people on the show as always. As I said, every podcast, it's always good to be a regular on the show. Obviously, talking everything Tottenham. Hope you all had a great New Year. I know I did. And a great Christmas. And obviously a great win for us against Bournemouth.
Yeah, absolutely was. Looking forward to getting into it. So happy New Year to everyone who's listening and watching as well. But before we get underway, I hope you enjoyed the show first and foremost. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It's free to do so and ultimately helps the channel grow. 2023 is a great year for the channel. So we're really looking forward to seeing what this year, 2024, brings. If you are listening on any other podcast platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, etc., don't forget to drop us a follow and a 5-star review. That'd be massively appreciated. So let's crack straight into it. Davina, I'm going to come to you first. So thinking back before the game, what was your thoughts on the lineup? Because there's a few surprises in there. Bentancur back in the starting 11, Lo Celso in for Højbjerg, Emerson keeping his place at centre back. So talk me through it.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect in this game because I was unfortunately at Brighton away on Thursday night, and that was a shambolic game. Obviously, Kulusevski picking up his 5th yellow, unavailable for selection yesterday. And yeah, the biggest shock for me was to see Bentancur back in the starting lineup because obviously we had a few whispers on the Twitter timeline, some leaked messages from his wife saying that he's back. And what I expected on the basis of that was maybe like a 10-15 minute cameo. And then to see him straight lobbed into the starting lineup, I was like, do you know what? All the pessimism that I had before the game, thrown out the window because I'm a big Rodrigo Bentancur fan. And it's a massive, massive boost. Obviously, we're losing some players to the Asia Cup, AFCON in January. And to have a player of that caliber back available for selection was a great, great boost. So firstly, yeah, great there. I don't think there's much we can do about our selection of centre-backs, given the lack of transfer activity in the centre-back position in the summer. And then, that didn't shock me. Obviously, massive loss not having Romero on top of Van de Ven not being there. But, other than that, I was... the Bentancur news really gave me a wave of optimism, so there wasn't much else that could disappoint me in that squad selection.
No, absolutely. That was definitely the big talking point. Travis, were you surprised by Bentancur being named in the starting 11?
Do you know what? When I see Bentancur in that starting 11, I was absolutely buzzing. My phone nearly went on a fly lesson across my bedroom, to be fair. I was absolutely elated to see him back in the starting lineup. Obviously, considering what he went through and obviously what Matty Cash done to him in the Aston Villa game. But him and Maddison, they're the string of the midfield. You know, obviously, I know Maddison's still out at the moment, but the quicker back, the quicker we will be. We will be more at the top of the table. But Rodrigo Bentancur, he's lit the place up ever since he come from Juventus. And obviously we paid the odds for him as well. So yeah, he's a massive part of our team. So yeah, really, really happy to see him back.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it perfectly. And welcome on our third guest of the night. Dan, how you doing? Can you hear me, Dan?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Wait, I think I've got my headphone settings wrong because I can't hear anything.
Dan will be back very soon. Also, welcome on Pav, better late than never. How you doing?
Hello, hi.
You right?
I'm good. How are you guys? You guys okay?
Very good, thank you. Very good. To kind of bring you in on this, Pav, what were your thoughts on the lineup for the game? How big of a surprise was it to see Rodrigo Bentancur in that starting 11?
Oh, I was shocked. Like, obviously, there was those messages being leaked about him starting, and I didn't know how true it was. And then a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's going to be on the bench. He's going to be on the bench." And I was like, maybe on the bench. And then to see him starting, I was like, "Oh my god, no way!" So it's great to see him back, obviously. And obviously he got taken off because he's just come back and stuff. So it's good to just get him out on that pitch again.
Yeah, absolutely. Very important. Good to see him. Dan, how you doing? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I fixed my microphone now. Big up to everybody.
Excellent. You doing well?
What was that?
You doing well?
Yeah, I'm doing well. What about you guys?
All good, all good.
Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. What are your thoughts on the lineup before the game, Dan? Obviously, you saw Bentancur back. How surprised were you by that?
I don't know, because I'm somebody that usually am very misleaded by reports. And when I saw those leaked messages about Bentancur starting, I wasn't too sure how to take it. I don't know if to believe it or not. But when I saw him in that starting 11, well, first of all, it was the picture that Tottenham put on their Twitter that it was Bentancur walking with, like, I think it was Alejo Veliz. And I also got falsely excited because Alejo Veliz in that photo I thought was Mickey van der Ven. So I thought not only was it Bentancur, I thought it was Mickey van der Ven and Bentancur, but it was just Bentancur, which I wasn't complaining about, but I thought it was also Mickey van der Ven. But other than Bentancur, I mean, I expected the lineup to look like that. The Celso in the lineup, other than Højbjerg, I was happy about. But the Bentancur one, I think, shocked everybody, and I think I'd rather it like that. You know, I'd rather it like that than hear like in a week earlier in a press conference that he's fit. I'd rather it be right before the game, just be surprised that Bentancur's back, and I guess that like adds to the hype of the game as well. But but I was just happy to see Bentancur back, and I mean, he played good. He played well, very good.
He did. We're going to get into our win, our performance, also individual performances. So thank you, Dan. Travis, coming back to you. So Sarr got the first goal in the 9th minute. What was better, though, about the goal? The tackle by Lo Celso, which was the assist, or the finish by Sarr? What do you reckon?
Both. I thought Lo Celso played absolutely incredible yesterday. That's the best I've ever seen him play in a Tottenham shirt. And correct me if you've had any more blinding games like against Bournemouth. But that's the best I've seen him play. And to see Sarr score is just massive. You know, he's been, called up for the AFCON games, which is huge. I'm not sure how old Sarr is. Is he 19, 20?
I think actually he's so young that he could qualify as homegrown for us.
Okay. From next year, I think.
I saw something like that. Yeah, that he could be qualified as homegrown. Okay,
yeah, but to see him score, I mean, he obviously got taken off and obviously got replaced with Oliver Skip, which obviously is like for like. But you could see how distressed he was when he went off. You can see how much he wants to give to the team and how well he wants to play. And I think give him more game time and he's going to be some player. You can see it in him already. He's got so much potential. And I think he's going to really thrive under Ange Postecoglou. But yeah, Lo Celso was quality yesterday. I would like to keep him now. I did slaughter him when he first came to Tottenham, and I always said he'd be better in the Spanish leagues. But after the way he played yesterday, I mean, obviously we don't know how consistent it's going to be. But obviously after the way he played yesterday, absolutely keep him now. Absolutely. Obviously, if Maddison gets injured again, you've got someone there who can kind of replace him. I don't think he's James Maddison quality as such, but he's a replacement if Maddison does get injured again.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will get on to Lo Celso's performance because I think that really stood out yesterday out of anyone's performance. But Davina, coming to you next. So scoring early in the 9th minute, what were your thoughts at the time? You happy to get the goal so early?
Listen, us going 1-0 up hasn't always ended well for us. Obviously, we went through that run of going 1-0 up and then losing. But no, it was really good, and especially for Sarr, the way that he celebrated, the way that the South Stand kind of lit up as well. It was a nice wave of positivity given our sort of run of injuries, run of performances after that loss on Thursday. So yeah, unreal goal, and like you said, unreal tackle by Lo Celso. So I'm eager to get onto the Lo Celso part of the show because I've got a lot of praise for that man.
Can't wait to hear it. We'll definitely get onto it. Don't worry. Pav, are you impressed with the way we kind of took our first goal? Got in early, 9th minute, the goal, and what bit was better for you? That tackle by Lo Celso, which is I think going massively under the radar, or the great finish by Sarr?
Yeah, 100%. And I think, like Davina said as well, like obviously scoring like in the first half is so important, but it never works out for us. But holding on to that goal for the first half was very, very crucial for us. And Sarr, I think he's so underrated, and so is Lo Celso as well. Like they're both quality players, and you could see perfect example was yesterday's game. They were fantastic. So I think they're really important for us, especially as backups as well. When the other players get back onto that pitch, I think they're crucial. But that goal was fantastic. The Lo Celso assist, and then obviously him getting the other assist as well, fantastic. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. So Dan, Sarr went down though, sadly, injured in the 32nd minute. He was replaced by Oliver Skipp. So what were your kind of thoughts at the time? So obviously it's not expected to be serious. He's still expected to go away on the AFCON. So what were your kind of thoughts when he went down at the time? Because obviously he scored. He's had a good start to the season.
Yeah, when he went down, I mean, so even you see him crying, he's gutted. He's gutted, and especially at the moment. I didn't know that he was gonna probably gonna end up going to AFCON either way. But in the moment, the first thing that goes to your mind is he's gonna miss AFCON, and that's big for footballers to play for your country, to play for your nation. That would suck, and to not be able to go to a tournament like that. So I was gutted for him. He's been playing very well, but it looks like he's still gonna be able to go. It looks like it's not that big. When it comes to the goal that he scored, very good quality goal. I think something that does go under the radar though is that pass from Bentancur to him. But the tackle from Lo Celso as well was good, and the finish from him that you don't need to talk about anymore. It's just perfect placement.
Yeah, absolutely. Davina, how important has Sarr been this season to the way that Ange wants to play?
I think he's been really important, and like we've all said, he goes under the radar quite a bit. Obviously, there's a lot of buzz around the other players in our team, but I think he's been a really key part of the strength of our midfield. And when our midfield doesn't perform, we're all over the place. And I think, especially with him going to AFCON, it will be a really big loss for us as a team. And we only have 2 league games in January. We've obviously got Burnley in the FA Cup on Friday as well. But I'm really curious to see how we start and how we perform without someone like Sarr, who can provide an attacking threat as well as like hold down the midfield quite solidly. And he's really young. He's got pace. I think he's got a lot of like what Football Twitter calls football IQ, in the sense that he has vision of where the game is going. And yeah, massively impressed. Sarr, you've got a fan in me.
Absolutely, love it. How important has Sarr been this season? Just how good has he been?
He's been fantastic. He has. Like Davina said, Davina, you spot on, right? Everything you said. And I think he's so crucial for us. And like I said before, he's so underrated. And I think he's going to be so important for us. He fits the Ange regime. And Ange knows him like very, very well. And the way that he plays on that pitch, and for a player to be that young and play the way that he does now, it's fantastic. And you could see yesterday as well, like not only yesterday's performances, the previous ones as well, like he turns up on that pitch. So yeah, I think going forward, he'll be very, very important for us.
Absolutely, thank you. And Travis, you've been really complimentary of Sarr on this podcast for some time now, last season and now this season. So just how important has he been this season? How good has he been? He stood out to you?
Massively. He's a massive key player for the team. And I think him being called up for the AFCON games is huge. And do you know what? Personally, I think it's even bigger for the younger players to be called up for their nation. I think that'd be a massive confidence boost for him. So yeah, he's going to be a massive contribution to Tottenham throughout the next remaining seasons. And I think he's got a really good manager under Ange Postecoglou. So yeah, he's going to be some player, and I really do hope he shines and we get the best out of him, because he's going to be absolutely top draw. Give it 2-3 seasons, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know, I think he's a player that's massively ahead of where he should be for his age. I don't think he's the only one in this Spurs team. You've got some likes of a Doggy as well. I think he's really performing at such a young age. But keeping the subject on Sarr, because Alistair Gold has said this evening that Sarr is actually close to signing a new contract. So that's quite exciting. So coming back to you, Pav, you know, how big would this be for Tottenham? And do you think he has the potential to be a generational talent?
Oh yeah, 100%. And when I saw that about him signing a new contract, I was so excited, because do you know what? He deserves it so much. And like we all said, he's fantastic. He's so underrated, and at so young of an age to turn up on that pitch and show what he's got, you can tell that he's got a lot of things going for him. And I think we are so lucky to have him, and he deserves it. So definitely a positive thing going forward. And you can tell like Andrew's going to make a lot more use of him as well. So it's positive for us, definitely.
Absolutely. Dan, what was your kind of reaction to this news, and how big of a player do you think Sarr can be in the future? Because obviously you've had some labels thrown at him, like he'd be a generational talent. Are you getting carried away yet? He's setting kind of a barrier, or do you just think he can go up and beyond?
I don't know yet, but because young players, you can't really make up your mind too early. Because us as Tottenham fans, we know it most with Dele Alli, how all of us got excited and his career went down the wrong hill. But when it comes to young players, you just can't make up your mind this early. But I'm excited how we're managing with these young players, because you've already seen how we signed a Dogi on a long contract as well. We have Vicario for a long contract as well. We have a lot of these young players for longer contracts than we usually sign them for. So it's interesting. It looks like we're trying to like settle like in each position for like the next 5 years to be like set. And that's something that we don't really see from this ownership, and a plan. And I don't know how this panel feels about Levy, but I'm not somebody that gives him too much praise. But the way that he's going about this, I'd actually give him props for this, because it looks like he's actually planning something, and I've never seen that from him. So I'm excited. Papa Matasar for me though. There's something in a player when he's that young and he has that much confidence to take a shot from outside the box, like we saw, that you don't really see that often from a young footballer. And it's like moments like last season when we asked for him to go to San Siro in the Champions League and he bossed out. Like you don't see that from young players usually. For a young player that age to be able to do that in the San Siro, you just know he's a good player. And I'm excited to have him for the next 6 years. It is, I think, 6-year contract. He deserves it as well.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. So
yeah, he deserves it. And a lot of people are asking the question now, even when Bissouma comes back, if he should still be in the starting 11. I don't know yet. I'd probably prefer that midfield of Maddison, Bentancur, Bissouma. But it is a question that he's asking now, if Papa Matasar should still be in this lineup when Bissouma comes back.
Yeah, it's a good headache, I think, for Postecoglou to have lots of options, and hopefully with Europe next season as well, it's always great to have a lot of options. But I want to draw the focus back to the game. So Travis, coming to you. So half-time we were 1-0 up. What were your thoughts that first 45 minutes? Was it a case of we should have been more than 1-0 up, taking our chances? Were you worried that we were allowing Bournemouth back into the game? What do you make of it?
You ready for this? My feelings were like every other Tottenham fan on the planet, absolutely bricking ourselves, because we go 1-0 up and we're not guaranteed to get another goal. It's been shown through previous games. So I was on the edge of my seat biting every single fingertip I had. It's a very a common thing with us to go 1-0 up, be absolutely buzzing, and then we get slapped for like 4-1 or something. It's just typical Tottenham. But we are managing to hold on to a lead. But I don't know what the difference was between the Brighton match and playing Bournemouth, because personally I think Bournemouth are a more informed team, informed what Brighton are personally. So we get slapped 4-1 against Brighton, and we beat Bournemouth 3-1. You know, I don't know really what the difference is. Maybe because Kulusevski wasn't playing in the middle. It could be a number of things. I don't know, but yeah, we are a first half team. We're a second half team now, where we always used to be a second half team. So there is a lot of positives shining through, and obviously we're only 1 point off that little team down the road now. So
I knew you could resist that.
Can we talk about Eric Dyer tonight as well, please? Just so I can.
Okay, not again.
1 minute on the pitch. 1 minute on the pitch.
Travis, how many times have we talked about Eric Dyer? No, I'll give you a chance. Don't worry. But I can't answer your question why we lose to Brighton and beat Bournemouth. I think it's a case of the Bournemouth have overachieved, like 21 points out of the last 24 points available coming into the Spurs game, whereas Brighton have struggled below par, doing well in Europe, but sit 8th, 9th in the Premier League. Really needed a statement result, so they look at Tottenham and go, "This is the chance to put out a statement against a big top 4 contender." But who knows? It could have been, like you said, multiple things. But Davina, were you as nervous as Travis at half time, or were you like, "Yeah, we're going to get a second goal"?
I was very nervous, and the reason why was I saw how hard Vicario had to work in that first half. Like, he single-handedly kept us in that game. And when I say single-handedly, it was sort of like he was left just shot stopping left, right, and centre. And I'll say it again, Vicario is just brilliant. I'm so glad we signed him over a certain other goalkeeper who went to the team down the road. But yeah, no, I was very, very nervous, and I wouldn't even say that we dominated that first half and I could be comfortable like, oh yeah, we'll see out the game, because I've said that before. We've had brilliant halves where we're 1-0 up and then we will lose, and we arguably would have played better football than we did yesterday. So at the end of the day, I mean, even comparing it to the Brighton game, I think the Brighton game was, I keep saying it's an anomaly because we conceded 2 penalties, which on another day, like, we don't concede those, not in the sense that the VAR decisions were wrong, but a penalty is sort of like, that's just a goal. So you're right. I think we are, like, when you compare the 2 games, Brighton and Bournemouth, I was more worried about today's game than I was on Thursday. And I think on the back of Thursday's loss, the team were a lot more up for it, and it was good to see that come across on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have one of your best players not be funny coming back in Bentancur, it's going to be some kind of boost, not just for us fans, but the players. You think, finally, it's just not just me that has to step up and have this big responsibility. Because Bentancur's a big player. Let's face it, when he got injured against Leicester, that's what really went downhill for Conte. He was kind of pulling the strings for Conte. So when he went, then that's sort of downfall of him. Next, though, Pat, I'm going to come to you. So, like I said, half-time, 1-0 up. How good is Vicario keeping us in that game in the first half? How good?
Oh, he is fantastic. Do you know what? Like, at the beginning of the season when we signed him, I was actually quite negative about him, but he's proved me wrong, and he is fantastic. I am so glad we did not sign Raya. Like, so glad, because he's fantastic, He goes out on that pitch, and the amount of times he has single-handedly, pushed the ball away and just kept, the team rolling, because he's stood in that goal and avoided other teams scoring. It's fantastic. Like, you can see he's so vital for us now. And now, like, Lloris has left, he's like the perfect replacement now. And he turns up every single game. I can't actually think of a game at the moment that he has not saved a goal. Like, he is that great. He's fantastic. And I think going forward, he's going to keep on doing that. And it's just, like Barney said right there, he had a brilliant game, and he is so underrated.
Yeah, absolutely. I do massively think that he is underrated. I also have to wholeheartedly apologise, because although I never kind of doubted Vicario, I was someone who really wanted David Raya. And now you see him at Arsenal and you go, wow, we've actually got a better goalkeeper. At the time, it looked like the club would turn into a cheap option, but that proved wrong. I think it's really clever recruitment. Like Van der Ven as well. I know he's not fit at the moment, but I just think how a fantastic signing that is the way that Ange plays, the pace he has at the back, the quickest registered player in the Bundesliga last season, things like that, like Dan said, about the long-term thinking for the club, the long-term success in players like Doggy, Sarr, Valise hopefully as well. He's promising signs. But Dan, talk to me about Vicario. Has he proved you wrong, or were you always behind him?
I always backed him because with the way they were recruiting players this season was with the whole stats and numbers thing. And so when we signed him, even though I wanted Raya, I was still gonna back him, but I was getting nervous with him after. I forgot. I think it was Pav that said that. I can't remember one game that he had a bad performance. I think it was the one game I can name was that Brentford game where he cost us that own goal, which was foolish from him. And from that game on, after that game, I was starting to ask questions of him. But then the next game I think was Man United, where he had like an absolute beautiful performance. And then from then on, he's gone and done what he's done. I think as well, not only like his performances, but like his interviews are just fantastic. When he signed with us and he said that he would have signed with his own blood, that contract, like those type of things, just like that's why he's our goalkeeper. It adds to them how much you love him. There was another interview they asked him like yesterday, I think it was, what was your best save this season so far? And he said, oh, the one that I'll make next match.
Yeah.
Like that type of mentality for a goalkeeper is exactly what you need. And like as well, like when he does that thing to Callum Wilson in the Newcastle game, like those little things you just love to see. So like everything that he's done this season, I think has been perfect. Other than that Brentford game, I just love him as a goalkeeper. And you also have to give a little bit of credit to Hugo Lloris because I think it was a month ago, he said that he was going to make it his mission to find a goalkeeper for us that we can have for the next 10 years before he would retire. And he's done exactly that.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like with Hugo, it's such a sad thing to see him go. He's been a fantastic servant, etc. But we're in safe hands in Vicario, and that is a very nice feeling. Travis, moving on though, second goal from Son, another Lo Celso assist outside the foot, really, really important. How important was that second goal though for you, Travis? Because you know that we said that 1-0 had been funny, Bournemouth were creating so many chances. In that first half and even the early second half, or even myself at the stadium was like, it's only a matter of time before Bournemouth scores. So just how important was it that we got that second goal?
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how good that assist was from Giovanni Lo Celso? That cross, that was absolutely world class. That was like just on another level. 2-0, obviously I'm still a bit anxious. I think any proper Tottenham fan would be. But I knew we had the game under control, and obviously see Richarlison score again. It's so good to see him scoring. That man is so underrated, and you can see he gives himself such a hard time with some of the performances that he has. So to see him score was brilliant. But yeah, as I said before, obviously while James Maddison's injured, Giovanni Lo Celso is a perfect replacement. And there's so much togetherness in that team now, more than what I've ever seen. Even when Mourinho was there, Conte was there, even when Poch was there, there's so much togetherness within that team now. So, and it's so positive to see. So, but yeah, the assist from Lo Celso to Son was just absolutely sublime. It was very, very good.
Davina, would you make the assist from Lo Celso? It's outside the foot.
It was stunning to watch, especially when you're at the ground and you can it kind of for me happened in like slow motion. I was just in awe, and I just want to shout out the finish of that goal as well, because I've seen a video of it from like lower down in the stadium as well, and it's like a video that I've watched on repeat. It's just a beautiful goal. And Giovanni Lo Celso, he deserves his flowers a lot. Obviously he's not someone that I came into this season thinking that he'd have a massive part to play. He was linked with moves away in the summer, returning back to Spain. And, I remember fondly his form during the 2020-21 season, with COVID and the era of like no fans, and that first half of the season, let's think about like October, November, December, under Mourinho. And he was great. He was a really key performer there. I remember thinking he was like, he was that guy. His form dropped off a little bit, and then obviously he went out on loan, but the way that he stepped up and provides that creative ability that we do sadly really miss with the lack of James Maddison, and again stepping in without Kulusevski because he's unavailable for selection as well. So Giovanni Lo Celso, brilliant.
Would you offer him a new contract? 18 months left he's got at the moment.
Yeah, and I think he's on about 70k, and I think he'll definitely have offers from Spain. There were like rumors that like Barcelona were looking at him and things like that. So I think it all depends on how we recruit and how we go about, because he said he's got 18 months, right? So how we recruit in this January transfer window, what Ange's plans are in the summer, whether he sees that long term, because if they did look at offers for him in the summer and he wasn't part of Ange's like original plan, he has his opportunity to prove his talent, ability for his spot in the team, especially with the fact that we can't expect James Maddison to be fit every single game of the season given the number of games that we play across all competitions. So yeah, I mean, I think this era of having a lot of injuries has given a few players the opportunity to step up and like audition for their role. And yeah, it's up to him whether he wants to stay, whether he wants to go, and whether, you know, he is fully coys or not.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to find out. The January transfer window's open. I'm going to be looking very, very closely. Pav, I want to come to you next on the third goal, because after missing a big chance in the second half, actually not that long before, Richarlison does get his goal. The cross was by Brennan Johnson. I thought it was a really nice assist. Timed his run to perfection. I mean, we will get on to Richarlison's performance because I want to discuss it and whether he's still the right man or not. But yeah, what are your thoughts when the ball hit the back of the net? Are you happy for him? Happy the game that was done at 3-0?
I'm always happy when he scores goal. Do you know what? Like, I'll go on to later because I know you said you wanted to talk about him later. But
yeah,
I'm always happy that he gets to goal, man. And I was very pleased for him because obviously he was trying, and you could see, and then obviously that goal not being allowed beforehand and stuff. And he was happy himself, and I was definitely chuffed as well. And it was a good goal. I'm not going to sit and say it wasn't. It was a good goal. But yeah, fantastic, and he has been fantastic. So. Yeah,
it was copy and paste from that Everton goal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So Dan, what do you make of the goal then, and the assist from Brennan Johnson as well? Because I know that, I mean, we both, I know, have been like behind Richarlison for a long time. So what do you make of that goal?
I mean, that goal specifically is definitely worked in training, because the way that same exact play happens over and over again, there's no way that that's not practiced every week. But it's also a very good ball from Brennan Johnson. Like, that also can't go under the radar. A lot of people were slaying him after the Brighton game, saying that he was poor, that he has no passion for the club.
We will get onto his performance as well.
It was good, very good to see him get that assist. But as you said, I've always backed Richarlison. I don't want him to be our number one striker though. Especially when we signed him, I was happy because we had Kane starting. He would be a backup. That's what I want. I want Richarlison to be our backup striker. He comes on as a substitution and makes a difference. I think that's what he's perfect for. He had a little bit of bad form last year. It just came out that he was playing with an injury, so that could have been it. Okay. But no, I back Richarlison fully.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you very much, Dan. Now on to the slightly negative bit, I suppose, that has to be done. Davina, Bournemouth's goal, Alex Scott, neat finish to kind of get a consolation, which it turned out to be. You know, when we were linked with Alex Scott, weren't we, in the summer, Bristol City? I made a video about him, really wanted him. Were you someone who wanted him?
Yeah, I think, again, the players that we were linked with were so niche, and you could definitely see the character profile of the players that Ange Postecoglou was looking for. And I mean, he was basically begging for us to sign him on Instagram and on socials. He's a self-confessed Tottenham fan. And I just kind of knew that he was going to have like a worldy performance or bag a goal against us. It was like written. I mean, it did turn out to only be like a consolation goal, but buzzing for him. Honestly, like, he's such a great player, and yeah, just overall super happy for him. I'm a big fan of him as well.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. So now I'm going to come around one by one in no particular order and ask you if you're player of the match. I don't want why, because we'll come back to that later when we discuss individual performances. So just one word answer who your player of the match is. Travis, and come to you first. Player of the match?
Pedro Porro.
Ooh, I didn't expect Porro, actually. Fair enough. Davina?
Mine was going to be Pedro Porro as well.
I can go with Porro if you like. I've got two Pedro Porro. I actually didn't. I wrote down about 4 or 5 players that I thought you might say. One wasn't Porro. I missed that one. Dan?
I'm gonna say the boring answer, Lo Celso.
Lo Celso? No, fair enough. Pav?
Lo Celso.
Fair enough. Mine for me, it was between Lo Celso. I think Lo Celso was a big contender. I think Richarlison could have been a contender. I think Davis was really tight and solid. So there's quite a few contenders in there, to be fair. Vicario was good again. So interesting. Thank you very much. Now, talk about Tottenham Brazilians number 9, Richarlison. I want to talk about his performance. So Travis, going to come to you because we actually haven't had this discussion much. We had it a lot last season, didn't we? But I want to have this discussion this season as well. So in this game in particular, Travis, his hold-up play, his defensive work, tracking back. I want to know what you made of it. He's now been involved in 8 goals in his last 7 Premier League home games, for example. Is he the man? Can he be Tottenham's number 9 for the long term?
My personal thought is I don't think he should be a backup striker. I think, yes, we should absolutely get another striker in, but I think you can see how much he lacked confidence end of last season. Obviously, he wasn't scoring. Obviously, Harry Kane still being part of the team. So I'd love to see him at Tottenham for the long term. And I'd like him to be the number 1 starting striker for every single game.
Okay. I didn't think you were going to say that. There you go.
Well, obviously, I felt a few weeks ago on one of the podcasts that he was going to get at least 15, 20 goals this year. And honestly, I can honestly see it happening now. So, yeah, but as I said, don't use him as a backup striker. That's just my personal opinion. Absolutely getting another striker. But I would carry on playing Richarlison purely for his confidence levels. That I strongly believe that Ange has got a lot of confidence in him because he started near enough every game. I know we haven't got a striker as such at the moment. I know Dane Scarlett's just been recalled from his loan. Yeah. So there could be something going on there. But yeah, he's playing really well. He tracks back.
Yeah.
I've not got a bad word to say about Richarlison, to be fair.
But
Okay.
Travis, wouldn't you rather us go out and sign because us right now, the level we're at, our next goal is to be fighting for the Premier League title. If we're a team fighting for the Premier League title, I think what we need to be looking at is either getting a new number 9 and having Richarlison coming off the bench, or we move Son to 9 how he was before. We get a left winger that can supply Son, and then we have midway through the substitution we bring on Richarlison off the bench. Because I rate Richarlison a lot, and when people were staying him last season, I was one of the only people backing him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a player that could be in a team with contending for the Premier League title. It's a bit like Gabriel Jesus for Arsenal, where he's not good enough to be. That's one of the things that's been letting them down in their title race. I don't think we should be.
I think Richarlison, he reminds me very much of a Peter Crouch. He can go up, he can get back, he can defend. He's very, very good with his head. Obviously, that's been quite obvious. Obviously, when he was in the Champions League, etc. But if it was me and if I was Ange, I'd play 2 up top, one being a new striker, one being Richarlison, and I'd keep Sonny out on the wing, out on the left wing. And I'd drop Kulu in the middle, and I'd play Pedro Porro more as an attacking defender.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. Interesting. I might come back to that. Didn't expect that as well. It surprised me a lot tonight, Travis, but you won't surprise me there at Guy later, so I'll save that. The best will last for you. Davina, where do you stand? Richarlison, is he the man to do it for Tottenham Hotspur? In good form?
I am one of his biggest fans.
Love it.
Richie, I love you. And he was lacking a lot of confidence last year. Obviously, every single goal that he was scoring seemed to be offside. And this season, after recovering from his surgery, seems like a brand new man. And again, the way that he's playing now, he's finally scoring with his feet. Prior to this season, we'd only ever seen him score with his head. So I think adding that to the game and, practicing those plays in training where it's just 1-2 assist and back at the back of the net. I think I'm backing him to be our number 9. He's Premier League proven. He's Brazil's number 9. And I think in terms of his work rate, his ability, I do think that we can, we say challenge for the Premier League. We need to strengthen in other positions before we strengthen in our number 9, because I have a lot of faith in Richarlison. I don't have a lot of faith in our backup centre-backs. I think we can, if push comes to shove and Richarlison's not having a great game, we can put Sonny as a number 9. Obviously, like we said, we record Dane Scarlett. And I don't think our biggest issue is to bring in a new number 9 when we have a player of Richarlison's quality within our squad. So I'm backing Richarlison all the way to be our number 9.
Fair enough. Since Davina mentioned backup centre back, Travis, I know you'll just be wait till the very end. If not, talk to me about Eric Dyer. The January transfer window is open. What would you do with him? You said it week by week, so I think I know what you're going to say. But for people who don't know, go for it.
Let me just take a breath for a minute. Right, Eric Dyer can be sold. Bye, because I've read on Twitter tonight, going by Fabrizio Romano, that we have signed that Dragu sign, or whatever his name is.
So it's official. Yeah. It's official.
I'm on the Tottenham ITK pages, and there's some really reliable sources on there. And some guy called the Goat, he has said that he's signed, sealed, delivered, basically. So
it hasn't been announced yet.
You have to be a little bit careful because there's a lot of people making fake accounts as Fabrizio Romano, and I swear there was one that said that the deal was off, and I nearly threw my phone against the wall, but it was a fake account. So
yeah, well, there was one
you have to be careful with that.
Yesterday saying that the deal had been completed and his medical was today. Then there was one today saying the deal was off. I think you find that people got a lot of time on their hands at the moment. So
I think very. I mean, I read a lot more on Eric Dyer than obviously what he does on the football pitch. And he's made a lot of nasty comments about Tottenham. Tottenham don't win trophies, etc. So,
what do you mean that? What did he say jokingly in the interview at the pub?
No,
it's the one. It's the one with the pizza guy. That pizza guy. I forgot his name. Like David. I don't remember his name.
I don't like the man. I can't say too much because I'm on a podcast, but I don't like him. I don't like him.
Would you pay for his taxi or his flight if he's going abroad?
Pardon?
Would you pay for his transport?
Absolutely. I'd pay for him first class. Absolutely. No problem at all. Yeah.
But Travis, what about if we can't sell him? Would you rip up his contract?
100%.
I would. I absolutely would. Yeah. He doesn't give 100% when he comes on the pitch. He's defending. He's just absolutely woeful. It really is. I don't know what's happened with him. I really don't. But yeah, as we all know, I don't like Eric Dyer for lots of reasons. So that's me done with my part.
Harry, can I say something about Eric Dyer when you said about the ripping up the contract? 100% I would, because Eric Dyer is one of those players that's like a virus in the team. When something's going wrong in the dressing room and you've got a player like that, it spreads to all the other players. And you can't have that in a team.
Poor Eric. Poor Eric. You got it in for Eric Dyer.
I think I read that he would be allowed to leave on a free in January, and I think it's just best if he does. He's a full outright centre back, and we have fullbacks who are not centre backs playing in that position over Eric Dyer. So I mean, if he doesn't realise his level in that pecking order and doesn't leave on a free, I'll lose a mad amount of respect for him. If he does want to keep playing like regular football, then I guess he'd request a move away from Tottenham. But yeah, I think we just got to a stage where we've outgrown him. He's had some great performances for the club, and I understand that he's said bad things or like slightly borderline, not very good things about Tottenham, making jokes, even if it is just a joke. But I can respect his like service to the club, and I wouldn't rip up his contract. Just respectfully let him leave on a free.
Okay, fair enough. There you go. There's different opinions on Eric Dyer, but I think we can all agree he's been here probably too long. He's a player that hasn't been moved on, and we're feeling the consequence now in terms of like the squad size and not bringing the centre back in because that squad is still too big. But the next individual I want to focus on, and Pat, I'm going to come to you next, is Ben Davies actually, because for me he's been really dependable. I think he always is, but in particular I think people come around to that conclusion. How impressed have you been with the job he's done since Van de Ven's been injured?
Do you know what? I actually like him. Like, I've seen a lot of people slate him, but I actually rate him. I do. And I think he has actually stepped up. And obviously he has had his bad performances and stuff. But I think he's actually stepped up. And obviously, like Van de Ven being away and stuff, he's stepped up into that place. And you can see it on that pitch as well. And there's a lot of people hating on him. but it's not like he's not turned up. And yesterday, I'm not going to sit here and say he had a bad performance, because I think he actually done all right. I don't know about you guys, what you thought, but I thought he actually done pretty well. So you got to give credit to him, because he's stepped up into that place, obviously, with having that game time now. I don't think that he should go. I think that he should stay. And I think he would be a great backup as well, obviously, when Van de Ven comes back and stuff. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Dan, I'll come to you next, because you mentioned him earlier. Brennan Johnson, what do you make of his start to life at Spurs? Do you think the questions from Spurs fans are fair? Because again, I think it's like with Richarlison. You may disagree, but it's the price tag thing. It's that instant expectation to perform, and that isn't Johnson's fault. But there's a lot of questions. Can he do it? Oh, is it a waste of money? Are they fair, or do you think fans need to be patient?
I think other than 2 games, he's been very good this season. Other than that 2 games that he's had. And I think one of the reasons why I was so excited about this signing is just because it's something that we haven't done in a long time. This is a player that Ange Postecoglou directly asked for, and we provided it for him. Usually we'll go out and sign players like, I forgot this. I forgot, what was the fullback from Nottingham Forest's name? Spence. Yeah, Jed Spence. Conte never asked for him, but we just went out and signed him because why not? Like, that's the mentality our club has had for the last few years.
Yeah.
And this is a player that the manager directly asked for, and we went out and signed. These are the type of players that the fan base should be backing, but we're not. I don't understand why, but I think people should start getting behind him because he's had very good games. He's got a lot of his stats have been very good. His performances have been decent. And I think he's only going to get better with time. I don't know about him being a permanent left winger and then a permanent right winger and Kulusevski as a cam. I don't know what's going to happen with him. Maybe he'll be ending up being a player being subbed on in the 60th minute, making a difference in the game, something like that. I don't know. But I think our fan base is very quick we're a very reactionary fan base. There's no 2 ways about it. One bad game and then get him out of the club. Like, that's how our fan base works.
Some people were questioning Ange Postecoglou, not just his. You can question him for like what he does in the game in terms of his in-game management, etc. But some people generally question him. I had someone tell me that Conte would have been better. We'd be top of the league if we have Conte, bonkers, things like that. So I think he's a very.
I think Conte. I'll say something. I think Conte is a very disrespected manager because he weren't even. I don't think he was as bad as people say he was.
Yes, but
you got to look at the squad that he was dealing with.
See,
that statement that
the virus not being able to accept that they're there. Personally,
Harry, I understand what you're saying. That statement is crazy. That he'd even not be first right now, no chance. But what I'm telling you is, people disrespect what he's done. Look at that squad that he got us top 4 with. That's like crazy. But at the end of the day, the magic worn off, and the true quality of the players that he had shined, I guess.
Absolutely. I'm going to put a quick question out here because you mentioned Hugo Lloris earlier. It's caused a few questions among the fan base, so I'm going to put it out there. So Travis, I'll come to you. In your eyes, after 11 and a half years of service, is Hugo Lloris a club legend?
Absolutely. Do you know what? I've supported Tottenham Hotspur for 31 years of my life, and do you know what? He's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen during my time of being a Tottenham fan. We've had decent goalkeepers, but I think Lloris was a great leader. He was a brilliant shot stopper, and he bled Tottenham. He really, really did. He's a Tottenham legend. And I think the MLS and Los Angeles have gained a great leader and goalkeeper. I really, really do.
Yeah, I think it's a good signing personally. Pav, where do you stand with this club legend? What do you make of Hugo's time at Tottenham? 11 and a half years.
I know. Do you know what? I got so emotional when I watched his video, and I think he's done amazing for us, and he's done so much for us, and he is Tottenham through and through. And you know what? I couldn't thank him enough with what he's done for our club. And I think a lot of people on Twitter are actually hating on him. And I put up another tweet about him the other day, and then people were just mentioning about drink driving and all this sort of stuff, club legend, blah, blah, blah. But he is a club legend. Look at what he's done. Yeah. Think about what he has done for our club, and he has done so much. And people can't just sit there and say he has done nothing, because he actually has. And the period of time that he's been there for a very, very long time. And this is the right time now for him to go. Obviously, we've got Vicario now. So, do you know what? He deserves everything and he deserves the credit. So, hats off to him and club legend through and through.
Yeah, well said, Pav. Completely agree with everything you said. You go on.
Yeah, I really like what Pav said then. I think, do you know what? I think people are so quick to pick up or say the negative and bad things in the day and age we live in now. And I speak for absolutely everything when I say that. You know, no one's quick enough to talk about the positive and the goodness that people do these days, whether you're a professional goalkeeper or whether you're just a person, you know, and social media can be quite a evil place to be at times with certain things. But yeah, I really like what you said there, Pav. I think Lloris was just mustard.
Travis, what about the positives of Eric Dyer?
Yeah, you can see the positives of that, see? Thank you, Dan.
You know what? No, I have said so many things about Eric Dyer for as long as I've been on Harry's podcasts, and I can't say anything about Eric Dyer at all. I really can't. You know, I've got so many why I can't say positive things, but I just can't. You know, I just can't.
If you would have scored that goal against Chelsea, my days.
Oh my days!
Oh, it's amazing.
If that goal would have stood on,
seeing his name.
if that goal would have stood on, fair enough. But
but Travis, if you saw Dyer, the genuine question, if you saw Dyer, like, I don't know, down on Tottenham High Road, what would you say to him? I'd have a conversation with him. What would you say?
What would I say? I don't know. What you wearing?
There you go. Fair enough. Davina.
I've seen his dress sense, and honestly, it's shocking.
Almost as bad as his defending.
Yeah, well, that's a different league of its own. But yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Ouch. Davina, coming back to you. Lloris, where do you stand in terms of club legend, and what do you make of his time at Tottenham?
Definitely a club legend. I think it's really rare to see a goalkeeper, even a player, full stop, be at a club for that long. And Tottenham never really thought about replacing him because he was such a high performing player. And, you know, 11 and a half years of service. I remember when we signed him, I remember all of his great moments. I mean, the thing which sticks out to me the most, maybe like the penalty save against Arsenal at Wembley, or the penalty save against Man City in the quarterfinal of the Champions League in 2019 at the new stadium. So the second game at the stadium, but the first Champions League game at the new stadium. And that was just like, for me, when I think of Lloris, I never think about, like, you can think about the bad stuff. I was also at his last performance for Tottenham at Newcastle away, and obviously he got subbed off at half time. But for me, when I think about like Hugo Lloris, I think about his years of service, his presence of being there through the good and the bad, through so many managers, keep performing at that really high level. I mean, he was there at White Hart Lane. He was there through Wembley. He was there when we transitioned to the new club. And I just think about his amazing shot stopping ability. And you can just pick out key moments where he's kept us in games. And I'm not, like, Twitter can be a cesspit of just abuse towards players, and people have a lot of like recency bias, and they forget that he's a World Cup winning captain. Yeah, that doesn't happen by fluke, and that doesn't happen by chance. He is a great player of immense quality, and you know, considering that we support Tottenham, if you're not counting Hugo Lloris as a legend, then who are you counting as a legend? Like, quite frankly, he in the modern era of like players that I've watched, I'm not talking about, like, for example, players that my dad watched, or like players of the old generation but in my generation of modern day football, Hugo Lloris is one of my favorite players, the most prolific players, and he's definitely cemented himself as a Tottenham legend.
Okay, thank you very much, Dan, because I know you've got to go. Can you tell me quickly, you know, your thoughts on Hugo Lloris, whether he's a club legend or not? And also, second question after that, what do we need in January?
So I definitely say he's a legend, but I don't. When it comes to Hugo Lloris, it pains me because my first ever Tottenham game that I went to was
Arsenal.
the North London derby this year. Yeah,
Yeah.
at home.
Oh, the
My God,
one.
what did he do for that first goal? I have no clue.
Second goal, he's got to save it though as well for me. Come on.
Both, like I generally don't know what he was doing, but he's definitely a club legend. But that game, just in general, my first ever Tottenham game, just remembering that losing in a North London derby, it's just gonna pain me for the rest of my life. But what we have to do in January, definitely sign one center back, if possible, sign two. Maybe I would say another left back because not because to replace a doggy, but to be backup to a doggy. Because when a doggy gets injured, we have nobody. We have to play Emerson Royale left back. Then let's say the center back gets injured, we're gonna have to see Eric Dyer play football again. So it's not ideal, but I'd say right now we're at a place where I love our starting 11. Maybe there's one position where I'd say maybe Richie we can improve on, put him as a backup. But our starting 11 is great. But what we need to start looking at now is building a backbone for that starting 11. When a
Yeah,
player
so
gets injured, we have the
it's
backup
also
for it.
building a second team, isn't it? Because we want to get into Europe next season. Let's say we get
Yeah.
top four, in particular the Champions League. Like we've seen teams like Man United, Brighton, Newcastle struggle to handle both. For example, Newcastle they do have when they have a fully fit squad, they do have that squad depth. So what worries me, with a really strong start 11, I think up there with the very best in the league, maybe beyond. But is when we get those injuries.
I think generally we have an argument to say that we have a better start with one of the best starting 11s in the league. Like generally, I think
it's the best personally. I think we'd be not being funny. I think we'd be top or joint top with a fully fit team because I think we beat Villa, we beat Arsenal, we beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
Brighton as well. I think with a better defence we win that as well. So
yeah, I think if Romero and Mickey van der Ven, just them two, and maybe even Madison would be there, I don't think we would have lost a game this season.
I think Wolves generally was a bad performance, but again, you don't know, do you?
But you see them goals. Do you think Mickey van der Ven and Romero would be making those mistakes that Eric Dyer makes? Because I don't think, no chance. You look at the next game, Aston Villa, the certain mistakes. We need some creativity from Madison. Could have created. Like I think them three players, if we had them all these games, I think we would have not lost the game. But big up to Harry. Thank you. Big up to the panel. Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you, Dan?
You guys can find me on my channel. I changed it now. It's my back to my old name, D Mizzy, and then on Twitter, on X, I think it is now. It's the same name. I'll put it in the chat. But big up to everybody. See you guys on the next one.
Big up, Dan. Thank you very much for coming on.
And Eric Dyer out.
What is it with you lot with Eric Dyer? Right, moving on to the January transfer window. Pav, what do we need and how many players do we need to sign?
Well, a centre back is definitely a big priority for us. So that's very, very vital there. And then I think I agree with what Dan was saying as well, a left back. But do you know what? I was reading a lot of people are saying, oh, do you know what? We need a striker. But at the moment, I'm not going to say that's a priority there. I definitely think a centre back is a priority. And I think our starting 11 is good. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. But it's all about the backups now. Because if you look on our bench, do we realistically have backups, guys? No, we don't. And that's what we need now. And that's what we need to look to do in January. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think the business in January is going to be that great. But hey, if I'm proved wrong, let's see. We've just got to go with it. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we do some good business. I know we've been linked with some centre backs as well. Not that I'm going to sit here and say I know who they are, but let's see.
Love it. Love the honesty. Davina, what do we need in January for you?
So I don't go shopping and only want to buy one thing. I want three. I want a centre back, I want a left back, and I want a left winger. And I know there are a couple of people in the chat who have said that as well. And I think those are the key. The comment is, yeah, if you pick out, when you look at squads like City, they have two players in every single position. And I'm not saying that we need another goalkeeper, but of starting 11 quality, so you wouldn't be absolutely terrified to play this person from the get-go and not just have to sub them on. When you hit injury crises like this, which are becoming more commonplace, I mean, every team is gathering so many injuries. I'm not just saying it's us. Those are the three positions where I'm sort of like, I don't want to play anyone from the bench. I need the transfer window to happen right now so I can cherry pick the exact player that I want. And those are the key areas that we do need to strengthen. I know we've been linked with a few centre backs. I've not seen any like concrete links as of yet for like left back, left winger. I know that we had like a Paul O'Keefe tweet. Like, I love how he just casually drops like really key information in random threads on Twitter. He said that Tottenham are like going to throw the bag or explode throw the bag at or explode Jota, who I'm a massive fan of. I think everyone on Spurs Twitter knows that I'm literally like begging for him to come and join Tottenham. I think he would be a really nice creative option to have. But number one on that shopping list has to be centre back, because we've seen now you can lose your 2 starting centre backs and have to play full backs in that position, and that's not ideal when you're. I'm not saying that we're challenging for the league, but challenging for top 4, trying to get far in the FA Cup. I mean, hopefully we also finish in European spots this year, so we're also in Europe next year. So if we have this lack of depth in the centre-back position come the summer or even the end of January, I'm just going to be really, really concerned. So those are 3 positions. Insert credit card emoji. Daniel Levy and transfer team. Let's get on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, I think for example, I think Daniel Levy's time in particular in recent years, since I've been following football closely, the investment's always been there. It's just whether, for me, the recruitment's been good enough or not. And I think under Pochettino, that with Domblé and that year, recruitment was poor, etc. I think recently the recruitment's been better. So it's more about the quality rather than quantity for me. But I absolutely agree about the City thing. I'm not saying we need a goalkeeper, but we need but you can't play full backs and centre backs, can we? When we get a couple of injuries.
I'm sorry, looking at a starting lineup and not having an outright centre-back in your starting lineup is just a joke. And talking about recruitment, you know who we have to credit our recruitment to? Fabio Paratici, who apparently...
Yeah, maybe that's why he's in prison. Those deals for like a doggy and that, they're far too good. That's prison worthy. Kulusevski as well.
He was spotted at Brentford away at the beginning of the season, no? That was just hilarious. Or was it Bournemouth away? I can't remember. It was just... He's definitely still there somewhere. Yeah,
it was an Everton game, I think.
Yeah, he's picked up. We've picked up like unreal talents from the Italian league, and whoever's in part of our recruitment, like even like Sarr, like Adogi, like we're picking up like unknowns, even Vicario, and they're proving themselves to be Tottenham quality. Whereas I remember, like you said, Harry, back in the day of Pochettino, when we would sign like everyone under the sun as an attacking option, like Clinton G, like who? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't great recruitment.
Yeah, exactly.
It was quite underwhelming to see them not have any impact on our team whatsoever. So, whatever our recruitment team is doing now, I think the players that we're linked with, obviously we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it seems that Ange is also playing a massive part in dictating who our transfer targets are. I remember when we were linked with Brennan Johnson, they were like, why are you throwing that much money at a player from Nottingham Forest when we could have signed, like, I know we were linked with like Gift Auburn from the Belgian league, I think it was. And there were a lot of like Twitter comps being made, and clearly, you know, Ange wanted Brennan Johnson and we got Brennan Johnson. So if a player is fitting, like I said earlier, the character profile of the team that Ange wants to build, who knows better, like us as fans or the manager of the football club that we support? And I've not had any reason to not back the decisions that he's gone forward with. So whoever Ange wants, I'm on board.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Travis, before we move on and we focus on Burnley, etc., before we wrap up for today's show, what do we need in January for you? Is there any players that stand out as well?
Yeah, I think for me, we need a new striker, definitely. Definitely a new centre back. Hopefully we do get this Dragon sign from, I can't remember what team he was from now, but he looks pretty good. Just looking at some of his videos.
To Debo, Travis, but Man United and Chelsea are interested, so that looks harder.
Yeah, I'd like to get. There's 2 things to what I'm about to say. I'd like Conor Gallagher from Chelsea. But my negative with that is it would throw Sarr and Oliver Skip out the equation. And I think because I don't know, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not the manager of the football club, but I think Gallagher's got a lot more Premier League experience as such. So there might be that to it. But Conor Gallagher, I rate extremely highly. I think he's a really, really good, solid centre mid. Striker-wise, I don't know realistically who we would get and realistically who Daniel Levy's going to get his wallet out for and spend a lot of money on. I think we all agree with that. But yeah, there's a few names that I would like to get, but again, you know, we all live in hope as Tottenham fans with who we'd like to get. But again, it's all down to our chairman, Daniel Levy. So I don't. I mean, I'm not too concerned with the team at the moment. I'm a bit concerned. I mean, for weeks I've been concerned about the back four. Obviously, with Mickey van der Ven missing, now Romero out for 5 weeks at least, which was a massive loss.
I don't think it'll be long for we see Van der Ven. Honestly, I think it's only a matter of time now.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be surprised to be in the squad for Burnley. Wouldn't surprise me.
There are rumours that he's cleared for Manchester United, which would be a massive boost for us.
Yeah.
There you go, big boost as well. So that'd be very good. But answering your question, kind of, Travis, about Conor Gallagher, for me, I completely agree with you. And the beauty of it, and the why the club should be all over it, is Gallagher can play as a 10, as an 8, as a 6. He does it well. He has that high energy and high commitment. And we look at players like Richarlison, Johnson. Gallagher's another one who we can all agree suit the way that Ange wants to play. They put in that 110%. They're great at tracking back. We saw Richarlison, for me, he scored a goal against Bournemouth, but the best part for me was his hold-up play. He's tracking back the ball, just as Bournemouth are going to take a shot, or they had a 2v1, he got back and was also that extra defensive man. So that was really important. There obviously will be Tottenham tax from Chelsea. Personally, can't see it happening, but if I'm Tottenham, I sign Gallagher and sell Skip. What they'd probably do if I don't think we sign Gallagher, but if we do, it'll be Højbjerg who goes, and not for me. I'd rather Skip.
Sign Gallagher, H.
What's that?
Why don't you think?
It's Chelsea Tottenham again. I think there'll be a 40 million price tag slapped on him anyway. And I think it's Tottenham, it'll be 45. And I just can't see it happening. Personally, like I said, I think we missed out on Alex Scott in the summer. I think that would be a real one. But I don't think that we will look for anyone unless a big offer comes in from Højbjerg. But Højbjerg obviously has that new agent. It's a possibility of doing that. I don't think Skip will go anywhere because we sell on Basuma away. The club won't take that risk, I don't think, of letting Højbjerg or Skip go again, not knowing there's going to be a replacement. So it'd be like I think it's going to go on all month, Travis, or it'd be a case of like Chelsea wanting to find a replacement for Gallagher, because Pochettino might as well walk if Gallagher goes. He's perfect to the system. So it'd be a case of Chelsea, can they find the replacement? For us, it'd be a case of, if he signs, can we get someone out the door because you don't want too many players? It's going to be one of those that is going to take too long and it's going to fall apart sooner rather than later. I'd love it to be true, but I can't see it happening. But moving on to our next game, Burnley at home in the FA Cup, only this Friday. So it's only in a few days' time. Pav, talk to me your thoughts ahead of the game and what your lineup would look like. How seriously should we treat this?
We need to treat it seriously. This is definitely a cup which we can progress, and it'll be interesting to see going forward how Ange treats this. So lineup wise, I'd say, it's probably just going to be the same as what it was for the game just gone, because there's no one else that's coming back yet, not that I know of. So we'd go with that, and obviously they've just got to turn up on that pitch and just get out there and score some goals, and this is a perfect opportunity for us to potentially, I'm not going to sit here and say we can win the FA Cup, if only, but it's a great way to progress, and it'll be interesting to see how serious the boys take it and Ange takes it, because obviously it was disappointing with the Carabao Cup and how we treated that. So hopefully we treat this positively, and going forward we can 100% progress in this. So let's see. I'm actually thinking quite positive about this, to be honest. I think it'll be a good game, and I reckon we'll come out with a win. So fingers crossed that we do. But let's see.
Go on, Davina.
Pav, you said that you're not going to come out right and say that we're going to win the FA Cup. I said at the beginning of
I
the
think we
season,
can.
why can't we win the
Oh,
FA Cup?
I think we can.
Honestly, why can't we win the FA Cup? I need this team to throw everything they have at the FA Cup. I'm sorry,
Oh, yeah.
that Carabao Cup, I can't even say it's a loss because we lost on pens. Again, I was there at Craven Cottage. Painful. And it just seems to be like a running thing that we need to be... like over the years, when we were under Pochettino, we used to go out against like really subpar teams in competition.
Norwich, I remember I was there at Norwich in the FA Cup on penalties.
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
goal.
no, I saw that.
So painful.
It's just, even last season, who did we go out to? I can't remember who we went out to.
Sheffield United, was it?
I think it was.
Wasn't it? Sheffield, yeah.
Yeah, again. Middlesbrough we've had. Oh,
it's like we rested players for that, for the game at the weekend, which was, I think,
Which
Wolves.
doesn't make any sense.
and then
though,
we
which
lost
was
against
Wolves, and we
Wolves.
lost it. Yeah, exactly. We lost the game.
That game anyway.
Yeah.
So what was the point in resting the players in a must-win
No.
game? I would have rather won the FA Cup game than the Wolves game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly, 100%.
I think a lot of people are like,
for you, that is.
yeah, it's prime Tottenham Hotspur. Sum up Tottenham Hotspur in one situation, it's that. And why can't we go and win the FA Cup? Like, we are not in Europe. We haven't got that burden towards the end of the season where
it's a free hit for me.
our fixture congestion will be up there. I mean, we have, for the FA Cup run, if we progress from the game on Friday, we'll have our star players returning back from injury, hopefully reintegrating back into the squad with the same form that they left us with. And, you know, like we've said ourselves, our starting 11 is up there. I wouldn't say it's the best because I think teams like Liverpool, City, still exist. I think it's up there. And if we have a shot at a cup, that is what we need to focus on. I need to see us win a trophy. And
have you ever seen us win a trophy?
2008. I was there. I was around for the Carling Cup win. I actually got a hat which commemorates it because Wembley's like only down the road from me, and I always said like I'll replace that hat when we win another trophy, and I'm still rocking around the little 2008 hat. So I was
actually born 3 months before we won that League Cup, so I've actually say never seen
Harry, that's made me feel really old. Thanks for
that. Sorry, Travis. Maybe I cursed it, maybe. But that full loss last season was so painful to the point I made a little appearance on TalkSport to give my say. I'd say I wasn't happy, and someone reminded me of that the other day, saying that the season was over. Season's not over, don't worry. It was an overreaction.
I just think it'll be very tricky because obviously, like, I think Son's gone tomorrow. I think he said that
tomorrow morning flight
is out. But you know, we've got Burnley, we've got United, and I think we have Brentford at the end of the month. Focusing more on Friday, obviously Burnley have been madly inconsistent.
It's a favourable game, though, isn't it? It's
a favourable game. We're at home, and I don't want to say like, oh, it should be a comfortable win because no games against Premier League sides. I mean, Premier League sides are ever comfortable, but we should have enough quality in our team to progress from this stage. I'm looking forward to seeing how we play. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but yeah, cup games want us to go far in this competition. It's a great year for us. Have faith in the squad, have faith in the manager. So come on, you Spurs. It's our year for the FA Cup.
Love it, love it, love it. Travis, talk to me about the Burnley game. How are you feeling? And what would your lineup look like?
Yeah, I massively agree with what you've all said. To be fair, you've got to take these cups seriously, no matter how big or small the teams are, obviously, that we get drawn against. We need to go strong either way. You should never underestimate the smaller teams because they are the teams that we always struggle against. But yeah, I'm going to go with a Tottenham win. But
don't say your score prediction. Come into that next. Wait.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hold fire. Go on then. Do we do score predictions? Pav, score predictions for Burnley.
Oh God. Oh. I'm gonna go with a 2-1. 2-1. I don't think that we can keep a clean sheet.
You've got to specify who two.
We
2-1
cannot keep a
Spurs.
clean sheet.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
we cannot.
2-1 to us, obviously,
Oh, thank
right? But we
goodness.
can't keep a clean sheet for, oh my God, right? So, yeah, 2-1, we're going to win that. We're going to win that thing, okay? We're going to progress. Positive vibes, come on.
Love it. Davina, you're as positive?
Yeah, I'm going 3-1. And bet your house on it, Richarlison scoring a brace.
Yeah, love it. Go on, Travis. Score prediction?
Well, we're struggling to keep a clean sheet at the moment, so I'm going 3-1 Tottenham, and I'm going Charleston to score 2, and I'm going to go with Ben Davies to score. No, actually, I'll change it. Pedro Porro.
I'm gonna be bold, right? People who know me, I very rarely predict Spurs to win, and that's me. Just generally, having watched just last season, thinking we're gonna lose every game. But I feel confident ahead of this one. I think we'll finally treat it seriously. I'm going with 4-1 Spurs, and a bold prediction here, because I think Richarlison's gonna score 4 goals.
4
I
goals!
think Richarlison's gonna score 4 goals.
If Richarlison, if he
Have
scores
to come
4
back to it. I
goals,
think Richarlison's
Come
scoring 4
on.
goals. Yeah, I have faith in my striker. It's against Burnley, and you know they're without, for example, Sanderberg, who's suspended because it carries on for the Premier League to the FA Cup. But I'd love Richarlison to do that, but it's optimistic, isn't it?
if Richarlison scores 4 goals, I will be the most shameless person on football Twitter.
We come back to this.
Can't wait. I can't.
We come back to this when he doesn't score. Sadly, but hopefully I'm right, but not often right.
Scores 4 goals. If Charleston scores 4 goals, I will go down the Tottenham High Road and I will streak outside Chiking. Trust me, I will.
Right, this is being clipped now. Right, there we go. 4 goals. Travis said it. I didn't say that. Do you know what? I tend to predict us to lose because I tend to be wrong. So, but hopefully you're right with this. But it's definitely a favourable draw because you know the smaller games, like you go away from home, like we've had like Newport County, that kind of thing. You know, it was on TV. I know it didn't happen, but Marine, everyone's watching. You know, in the evening, sitting around the sofa, BBC One, everyone's waiting to laugh at Tottenham. So it's just nice to have although it's still Friday nights televised, it's Burnley at home, so it feels a little bit more comfortable. Interesting.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, just a bit more routine. So like, just treat it like another Premier League game.
Yeah, exactly like another Premier League game. Let's be honest, Burnley will, you know, Vincent Kompany, I don't think he'll be there that long. I think they're quite an ignorant approach. They've done it against Villa, got to 2-2. Surely you take the point. No, they keep going and they lose 3-2. So I think it'd be a case of that. They take too many risks. And I think they'll be very, very poor defensively. I'm going to question now. I'm going to go around the houses, again, in no particular order. I just want a number for this, because how many points will we get from our next 3 Premier League games? It doesn't include the Burnley game. So our next 3 Premier League games as follows. Man United away, that'd be spicy. Brentford at home and Everton away, who'll be looking for revenge at Goodison Park. Travis, since you're thinking, I'm going to catch you off guard here. How many points are you getting for our next 3 games, Premier League?
I'm going 9 points.
Oof. Wow, I love the positivity.
We are going to run Manchester United round Manchester. We really are.
Yes. Ten Hag send off. Maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah, send him the helicopter. I'll die with him.
You can't help but mention every time.
You can't help it. Every single opportunity, die, get out of myself.
I watch this every week and laughs. Davina, how many points are you getting?
9 out of 9. And I expect nothing less, Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, United are in the mud. And I hope we don't give them any like little confidence boost, like, oh, it's only Tottenham. Have a real vengeance against that club. So yeah, 3 points there, 3 points Brentford at home, 3 points Everton away, which I think out of the 3, that will be the most difficult. Going to Goodison Park away, that will always be very, very difficult. Wow, can't wait to come back to this when United put 3 against. You know what? Well,
it's possible actually with our defence, to be fair. Van de Ven's not there.
It's possible, but if they put 3 past us, we'll score 4. So
yes. Pav, what
I'm going to go with 9 as well. 3 points, 3 points, and 3 points. Okay. We're going to smash Man United. Like you said, Davina, they are in the mud.
Okay, we're going to turn up there. I'm going to smash them. And that's when Ten Hag's going to get sacked. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it, guys.
I can't wait to be there at Old Trafford and sing, like, you're getting sacked in the morning. We will be there.
Honestly.
And I love the song that City created about Old Trafford is falling down. I won't repeat all the words on here, but that'd be quite nice to sing to them. But we have to see, I guess. So bring it on. I'm going to say 7 points, which is usually quite positive for me because I usually think that we'll lose a game. I think Everton, I think, will be tough, but 3 points. So Brentford's the guaranteed 3 points. For me, between Everton and Man United, I think we get 4 points. I'm not sure which way. I think Man United will be tough. It might be United a point, Everton win, or the other way around. But I can see us getting 7 points. Don't think it'll be too bad.
Harry, watch the game that we lose will be against Brentford. Now that you said that Brentford
Yeah,
is 3 points.
Yeah, I've done that. What did I do that with recently? I think it was Wolves. I said, well, we haven't got to worry about Wolves. We're losing that game. We're winning that game, and we go and lose that game. So. And then I actually predicted us to lose a game against Bournemouth, and we win. So, and then I thought we'd beat Brighton, but we didn't. Don't. Score predictions, not for me. I won't be winning that Sky Super 6. But questions that people put forward for the podcast on X is now called, always Twitter, but never mind. This morning. So, Travis, I'm going to get the first question from you. This is from Harry. Something about the name, isn't it? Harry says, can we win a trophy this year?
Thank you for your question, Harry. Yes, we can. And I'm not going to say what I was about to say, but we win the FA Cup.
Fair enough. Davina, I'll give the next question to you. Liam says, thoughts for Richarlison since your 4-1 win against us? Don't know who that is.
That was the Newcastle fan, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a Newcastle fan. Okay.
Yeah. No, Richarlison's great. And
underrated.
I don't think he's underrated. I think he's correctly rated. I think it's a bit too soon to say he's like underrated, overrated, because I think our fan base is very largely split. I don't think there's an overwhelming amount of love.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I think he's correctly rated, and the way that Ange's using him to the team's advantage has been really great. So long live Richarlison as our number 9.
Absolutely. Pav, I'm giving you the next question from Finn. Finn says, would you sign a 6 or an 8 to replace Højbjerg? Clearly not a fan of Højbjerg.
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. I'd say an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
The club are really clever with some of the signings they make. Like, for example, Richarlison and Johnson. They play on the right, they play on the left, they play down the middle. That's why I think Gallagher will be really clever because, Gallagher, like we have Madison, Kulusevski out, we had Lo Celso out, we have all at once, which hopefully we don't get. And you can go, Gallagher can play in that position. Or, you have Højbjerg out. You can play them in loads of different positions. So I think that'd be very handy. So thank you for your answer. And the last question is, who would you be your number 1 target for January? I'll answer that. This may surprise you. I'm going to go with Tosin Adebayo because I think we should focus on that defence. I think he's gone underrated. Obviously, he's been injured and that. I think he's a really good defender, very aggressive, has great agility. I think he'll suit this Ange's pace as well. A bit of height in box, was not very good at set pieces as well. So I think he's everything we need. But that is it for today's show. It's been a bit of a longer one, but it's been a good one. Travis, where can people find you?
Yeah, brilliant show again, Harry, as always. Nice to meet some new guests. Obviously, Davina, I know Pav, you've been on before. Absolute pleasure to be back on with you both again. You can find me at Official Caster. I do talk about Tottenham, but a lot of my stuff is about mental health. So you can find me on there, and please have your input if you want to. Again, I say it's every show, but if you've got Harry Scarf on Twitter, you are blessed because this guy and his very good friend Barney are just so inspiring what they do for neurodiversity and autism. And I'm really looking forward to what you two guys can do in 2024. You've just hit the road running and you should be so proud of what you do. So, yeah, well done.
Oh, thanks, Travis. That's very kind of you, that. Davina, first time on the show. Definitely won't be your last. Thank you very much for coming on. Hope you enjoyed that. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Davina _THFC on X. My Instagram link is in that as well. And honestly, thank you so much for having me on. Harry, you're killing it. And I'm a big fan of your content and like what you're doing in on social media. I know you released your own merch as well.
Matchday vlog yesterday.
No, your merch. You've released a shirt.
Oh, the charity, yeah, in 2024.
I saw it on TikTok and I was like, that's great. So yeah, keep killing it. Looking forward to seeing what you're doing in the new year. And yeah, thanks for having me on. Whenever you want me on next, happy to oblige.
Oh, that means a lot. Thank you. It'd be great to have you back on again. Pav, you've been on the show a few times. Fair to say you go by the reputation of the one who's late. So where can people find you?
Yeah, I am always the one that's late, but you can find me on Paxton Road TV on YouTube, and then on Twitter it's Pav Joe. I'm always ranting about Spurs, so feel free to hit that follow button. But Harry, thank you so much for having me on again. As always, you're an inspiration. Keep it up, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. Very, very nice of you. It's been an excellent show. If you want to follow me, don't blame me if you don't. You can follow me there, Harry Scarf 22. I say it how it is. If you want to check out the channel, it'll be massively appreciated because it's ultimately free to do so. Go check it out at Scarfy Spurs Talk. Match previews, match reactions, daily Spurs updates, match day vlogs now, latest edition. Obviously, weekly live shows every Monday, 8 p.m, multi-platform. So yeah, thank you very much. Also recently launched our own channel merch. I believe Travis is interested in it as well. And you can get a name and number free of cost as well. So if anyone goes to check that out, check out the Scarfy Spurs Talk pinned tweet. So it's quite exciting that. I didn't expect that to happen, but someone offered to make it. So there you go. But we're going to end today's show. Thank you very much for watching, guys. With a bit of Postecoglou, baby. So up the Spurs.
Up Spurs.
Working as a manager at Celtic Park when we met you. We picked you out, you shook us up and turned us around. You've turned us into something new. And Postecoglou, you know that we believe it when you say you're gonna change it. And Postecoglou, we're the mighty Tottenham and nobody's gonna stop them. Oh, he looks so fine in blue and lily white. And then he said to me, I'm from a land down under. Postecoglou, baby. Postecoglou,